Greetings everyone. Today we continue our journey in the speedrun. We start from 600 and let's see how far we can go. Welcome. Okay. We have 633. Okay, let's play e4 in the first game. And we have Sicilian. Okay, open Sicilian is an option, but this is quite a good line. Many top players are playing this, and if you play, for example, Ruy Lopez, then you can do almost same ideas. Just put bishop here, castling, c3, d4. So let's try to do that. Okay, if a6 happens now, we can't go here because b5 and our bishop will get trapped on b3. So we have to take here, but now we can play c3 and the idea is to continue with d4. And now if a6 happens, we can go on a4 and eventually bishop will go here. Maybe this is not the best line in this variation, but it's very practical way to play it. Okay, now good idea might be to play e5 because there is a great outpost if we can get knight there, but d4 is also an idea, but we can't do it now because there's 3 attackers and only... Oh, actually we can do that. So maybe d4 is our option here. But if a6 happens, then we can put our bishop here or even here. Okay, let's start with d4. But okay, there is one problem actually. Queen b6 hits the bishop, hits the pawn, and then we have to trade here, but it's not a problem. Now we are not going to trade here because we have more space and every trade will help black in this position. So we will put our bishop somewhere, but where is the... What is the right square? Maybe bishop f1. But now queen b6 hits the pawn again. So we have to go e5 and this is not... okay, maybe it's not a problem because it blocks this bishop, and usually this kind of structure is good against this kind of bishop. Okay, let's keep chat in English that everyone can follow. Thank you. Bishop f1 is a very common idea in many openings. Okay, somehow he lost his way, but okay. We can play g3, bishop g2 later. But of course, this bishop can join into action also on this diagonal. For example, if b5 happens, then we are ready for a4. But okay, now queen b6 might be a slight problem because we have to play e5. Bishop e3 could be a nice move, but we have to sacrifice this b2 pawn. In my own games, I would probably do this if this is correct. I didn't calculate it yet, but knight d2 is already ready for knight c4, knight d6, or even rook b1, and this queen might be in trouble. If black takes here, there is some tactics, but we can take with the knight, and if bishop takes, we are ready for... actually, we are not ready for knight c4 because queen can take here. Yes, okay, we have to do something like rook b1, but queen has to keep eye on this bishop, so I think this might still work like this. And now if queen goes here, we have rook c4. If queen goes here, we have knight c4, and then bishop will drop. And that's why it's very dangerous to take this b2 pawn. But in this speedrun, I could do also e5 to block this bishop and try to get my knight on d6, which is very good square in this kind of positions. So if your opponent plays something like e6 in Sicilian, you can try to play e5 in some point and get your knight to d6. Okay, let's move on. Hello, welcome. Okay, probably this helps you to get to the another level. Let's see. If you want to see some openings, you can send your request in chat. Okay, this is Scotch game, and now queen f6 is very interesting and important intermediate move. So this knight can't go anywhere. Okay, bishop e3 hits the bishop, but now this is not the best option for black. If you want to think a few seconds what would be the best move for black, you can think now, and I will give my answer soon. I think the point behind this move is that if I take here with pawn, then he can take our bishop, and then white has bishop pair, and black's pawn structure is a little bit compromised. So it's better to take this, and the idea is that when pawn takes back, then there's pawn weaknesses. We can take this with queen. Okay, taking with d pawn is also an option, maybe even taking with p pawn, but if we take with d pawn, then we can develop quickly, which is quite good idea, and we keep control on d5. So I will take with d pawn here, because knight will jump here and here. If we take with queen, we have to move on, make another move with queen, and we have to play c6 still. So maybe taking with pawn is the best option here. Of course, we have to check those tactics. Could we do this? It hits the rook, and it looks quite tempting, but white can do queen d4. It hits the queen and defends the rook. If queen takes here, he can take with knight, and then white is doing well. Actually, white is piece up, so we can't do that. Okay, there is one check, but king can go here, and then g7 might be in danger, so I will do this. This is much more practical way to play. Okay, now the main goal is to get some pressure on these pawns, but they are not going anywhere, so we can just castle, develop pieces, and then we can attack to e4 or e3, or even both. Okay, let's put knight here. This is great outpost for our knight. There might be also other good moves, but I'm a little bit in time trouble at the moment, so I have to speed up a bit. Okay, we will win a tempo. So knight e5, it's very natural. Okay, we have to be careful not to lose our knight if Rook comes here, but we have at least queen e7 or queen here. So I think we can play bishop e3, e6, I mean. It covers this square, and our pieces are very well placed. If you compare those two, white pieces are much worse. Okay, the next step might be rook d8, or maybe it's not necessary. If we trade pieces, that might help white. So maybe just rook here. There is our target, but we have to make some preparation. Maybe we have time to play h6 to prevent any kind of counterplay. Now knight is going to get on c5, so we play p6 to stop that. And then maybe c5 is an option for us, but we have to be careful not to give these squares for white knight. So let's keep these pieces here. a5 is actually quite good choice to prevent any kind of queenside action. Okay, oh, there was a good intermediate move, check, and then he couldn't castle, but now this was inaccurate. But we were in time trouble, so have to move something. But our position is very, very good. We have great pieces, and these pieces are not doing much. And as we can see, these pawns give lots of problems for white. We can also launch this kind of attack if needed, but every piece is well placed. Even this pawn is defended by this great knight. So probably white's best idea is to try to trade these pieces. Maybe we are not getting much. Aha, okay, now this pawn is hanging, so we will take it. It's very common that when your pieces are cooperating well, something works in tactical wise. So we can collect those pawns, but we are not going to trade this bishop to this knight. Okay, let's put it back because it might get trouble later. Okay, that was clearly a mistake, but our position was already winning. Okay, what to do now? Maybe queen here. Okay, actually e5 looks quite threatening, but it wasn't too bad. Okay, at least we can take here. Bishop takes, check. Oh, rook f1. So probably we should take this with knight and give the exchange, but then we are piece up and it's winning. So okay, let's move on. d4. Okay, queen's gambit. Okay, this is something else. It's a Chicorin defense, and of course this is quite tricky because black tries to play very active way. e5 is coming, so we should be careful. I think maybe knight c3 is the best, easiest way to play here. If pawn takes, we can play d5, and e5 is not an option yet. Or is it? Okay, at least we can do this. If e3, e6 happens, then bishop is not getting on f5 or g4, and we can continue with standard play. And then knight c6 is somewhat misplaced because there is no c5. But okay, maybe the best idea for black is to play e6, and then after knight f3, knight f6, bishop b4, and try to get in Ragozin defense. Now this knight will get in trouble on a5, and if it goes to e5, we can try to play in the center. It's usually it's a good idea. Hello, welcome. Okay, knight b4. It hits the pawn, and there is another attacking piece, but we have two defenders, so no problems. Okay, what about this check? Okay, so we are winning a piece. I think there is no any kind of tricks, so we follow our plan. Now we are already winning. But okay, e4 could be also an option. We take this with bishop and knight f3. I mean, in other lines, for example, if knight jumps here or here, if knight is here, then this same trick doesn't work because c6 and queen defends the knight. But anyway, the plan is the same. e4, bishop takes c4, knight f3, castling, and then we have kind of a powerful center, and it helps us to keep advantage. Okay. And now we can take this with pawn, with bishop, I mean. It's better idea than take this with the queen. Okay, we are already in winning position, but it's still practical not to give any counterplay for okay, queen has to retreat if it goes here. Now we don't have to do this immediately. Again, this is tempo winning move, so we will do that. If queen goes here, we can trade, because then pawn structure is even worse. And now we will win another tempo. Okay. Okay, it's hanging. So we can take it immediately. But if queen, if he does something else, we could do knight e5 and attack to f7, which is very common idea. And that's why e6 is usually needed, and this bishop can't go to g4 after that. Okay, let's move on. Now we can play French. It's quite good defense, at least in this level. You don't have to worry about any kind of attacks to f7. c6 is usually a good choice, but we can give white an option to go wrong with bishop b5, which is still quite common in this level. We can do c6 and then we can win a tempo. So we just play knight f6 and provoke to play bishop b5. Okay, he doesn't do that. Bishop e7, bishop b4, or bishop d6 are good options, but let's play solid way. In my own games, I would do bishop b4 because I like dynamic play. Okay, castling. There is no any kind of threats. If knight jumps here, we can do h6 and we will win a tempo. So this is all also kind of provoke to make this kind of threats which are not working, and we can have useful moves. Okay, bishop g4 looks quite tempting because there is a pin. h3, bishop here, g4, it weakens, so let's do this. And then we are ready for knight c6, or maybe even c6. okay, I would like to play knight d7, that I can take here with knight, and I will do this because usually this structure is much better than this. In practice, you will see that usually there might be some problems, or D or P pawn might get in trouble later if queen lands here. Okay, rook here. Maybe knight e5 is an option. It's very typical idea to try to trade some pieces or get some play. Okay, which one is the best one? Okay, if you want to think here, should we take this with bishop or knight? You can do that and give your answer in chat if you want. I will make a move in 10 seconds. Okay, it's very good result to be 2100 player if you have 700 elo. Okay, there is point to take with knight, or there's also point to take with bishop. But I will take this with bishop because it gives some chance to create pressure on d4. As I said, there is no c3, and now this might fall. I don't want to trade this bishop. I have bishop pair, and I think this diagonal might also be useful, but we have to be careful not to lose our bishop. If he plays f4, then even g4, g5, g4, f5 might be something, but it's very risky to play f4 because black can play h6, for example, or maybe even rook here and put bishop on e4 if needed. Now I'm not going to make perpetual repetition. Okay, queen b6 looks quite good. Also rook here. Let's play this. This is very useful move. And later we can put our knight here. It hits the pawn, and f4 square can be useful. Now I think he's losing time with these ideas. If he plays this, we are not going to repeat. We are going to get our queen to b6, or maybe knight will join into action. Okay, I hope you enjoy. Okay, now d4 is hanging, so we are ready for bishop takes f3. Now we can trade queens. It's practical, and actually we are going to win this c3 because of this pin. So this kind of structure is much easier to handle than what was white's structure. If you play French defense, it's good to remember this idea. It works with both colors to put pawns like this. Now the best idea is to just trade pieces, so I will double my rooks and try to trade rooks. Then my rook is much better than knight, and I can collect those queenside pawns. Okay, he prevents that now. We will bring our king into action. Have to be careful not to lose our rook with some kind of fork, but now it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, what is the best move here? Actually, not so easy. Okay, let's do this. Maybe he can create some counterplay now. Maybe not. We are ready for... yeah. Okay, and if knight jumps here, we can trade. It helps a lot, and actually I think this knight is in trouble. If it goes here, check, I will do this, and then knight is going to drop. Okay, we could do that. It's much better actually, but doesn't change anything. We can do this pre-move and then just push. There is no stalemate trick, so we are ready for queen d5 now. Okay, let's play more. Okay, e4. And in the first game we played bishop b5. Okay, let's do the same, because then you can have a few ideas against Sicilian and knight c6 Sicilian. Now it would be a terrible blunder to play bishop here, because b5 and then c4. So we have to trade. If we go here, black can follow with b5, and if we go here, this is just tempo lost, so have to go here. But now we lost our bishop pair, but we got something in exchange, so we are ready for c3 d4 later, but maybe castling is the easiest way to do. I mean, play here d4. Okay, d5, but then c6, it's a problem. Okay, now we see similar setup. Bishop is here. Then in the first game, there was e6 move and then bishop here, and it gives great outpost to d6. So we are ready for e5, and then knight will jump here. This bishop is out of play, and this gives great chance to get a very strong knight on d6. Okay, d5 might be the best move here, because if we take here, it releases this bishop, and okay, we can have some pressure on c6, but also our d pawn might get weak, so we are not going to do en passant here. So we go here to prevent c5, and the c6 is a target now. Maybe we follow with bishop d2, rook c1, and so on. Okay, maybe even b3, bishop here, because this diagonal looks quite good. And where is the counterplay? Black tries to do something, but what is the plan? You can think if you want. I will explain what white should take. I mean, what black tries to do now. I think c5 is not a threat in any moment. a3, a5, bishop here is not a big threat. because we can move our rook. But maybe f6 is something, because if we take here, then there's f file and some pressure on d4. But okay, e6 is going to get weak, so we don't have to worry about too much. But maybe rook here first, and if f6 happens, then the best place for bishop might be somewhere here, not here, but let's see. So I think this is the best, and then if black doesn't do this, we are ready for this action, and then I think black doesn't have any counterplay. Okay, now I think the best idea is to trade, and then trade this great bishop with bishop g5. Okay, maybe this is an option too, to get this rook in wrong square. If it goes here, we can win extra tempo, and if it goes here, we can play this one. Maybe even knight e5 was an option, because then bishop has to take, and okay, now bishop can retreat, but now there's nasty pin. We can try to make maximum pressure with knight c5, rook c1, and so on. Okay, now we trade the bishops. Okay, there is some pressure on d4, but not too much. It's very... this bishop is very bad, and our knight is very strong. Actually, both knights are very strong. We can win a pawn here, taking here, and I think we should go for it. Even though black might get some counterplay, but we will win more pawns than black will, so I think this is the easiest way to play. Maybe queen here and here. Oh, have to defend this pawn. Maybe there is already chances to create an attack, but this is more practical because we are short on time. Now we are ready for knight e5. Okay, maybe rook b1 is a threat. Okay, what to do? Maybe queen here. Oh, but actually rook b1. I tried to trade queens. Okay, this was clearly unpleasant surprise. Ready for h3, king here, but maybe I should put my rook. Okay, what is this? Is queen aiming for here and rook here? Maybe. He tries to take this one, and then I have some back rank problems, but maybe rook here and here saves the day. Look, this is quite dangerous actually. Queen comes here or queen here. I have to do... Oh, okay, there was that kind of trick. I didn't see that one. Okay, this is getting serious now. I think I'm still maybe not winning, but I'm fine at least. But it's very hard to play with black pieces because queen and knight are very strong together, and there is good chance that I will create some checkmate ideas. I take this diagonal and then put my knight here. I think there should be some checkmate ideas. Okay, now he can't check. Okay, but what is my plan now? Okay, I will take this one. If he takes, I will take. Okay, but I think position was already winning for white. Okay, let's see. I try to get check and win this rook like this. You have to check those tactics. Sometimes even masters can miss that kind of threats. Okay, let's see a few moments from this game. We can learn something new. I think so. Okay, taking as you can see, taking here is the only option for white to keep an opening advantage. And here castling. Okay, I could play d4 immediately, but this is still good enough. And now, as we can see, after e6, evaluation bar goes up, and it's because of this square. We can play e5, and okay, there was other options, computer thinks that we can do e5 later, but this is very human way to do it. And now we don't do this. Evaluation bar drops a bit because d pawn might get weak. And here f6 taking here, bishop g5 is actually bishop h6 is actually the best move according to the computer, and trading this bishop gives white clearly better game. And now we have great outposts, but maybe in practical point of view it's not the best idea to take here, because then black have at least some play. We could do this first and put now knight c5 if there is no knight b6, and I think black can't do anything. There is no counterplay. Maybe g5 is some option, but we can do this. And if black goes with h5 g4, then there should be some tactics because black's king is wide open. But okay, this is still good enough, but okay, this was clearly unnecessary because then I have to do something like rook d1, so maybe just check. And what happens actually? Knight g5 and then here. Okay, something like that. Oh, there was tactics. I can't defend the rook, so I had some problems here already. Queen c2, queen b7, and everything works, but this is not so easy to find. And now the idea is to take here and check, win a queen, because I have to defend the rook. Okay. But I think this endgame is interesting. As I said, I'm not in trouble here, but maybe black has to play very precisely to get a draw here. And in this kind of positions, it's usually a good idea to take few checks and get your queen in the right diagonal, which helps king to escape those checks. And here knight g5 is already winning for white. Okay, and then it went wrong quite quickly. Okay, let's move on. And now let's play d4. Okay, Englund Gambit. So let's take it. There is few tricks what we should avoid. Okay. taking here is an option, of course, but if you are not sure what happens, then it's probably best idea to not to take that gambit. But okay, you can take if you want. I will show one way to play. This is not the best move, but we can do this. And oh, actually d5. Okay, d5 is the best, but my idea was if he takes, we can trade queens, and now this kind of gambit player doesn't like to play queenless middle game. So this is one option if you want to play practical way. But of course, Englund gambit is not. Oh, okay, it's not a good opening, but might be a dangerous one if you don't know what to do against it. Your e4, yeah, actually e4 is even better because then it's easier to play. Okay. Knight f6 or bishop c5, both are good. If you do this, then you have to be ready for knight g5 and then d5. So let's play this is easier. And now we are ready to play knight here, because knight g5 we can castle. Okay, let's play h6. Okay, bishop e7 is one option, because white has played already d3, so c3 d4 is not so quick, and we can do this if we want, because this pin might be quite annoying. Knight can jump here and here, so this is very practical way to play. Not the best, but white doesn't get much. Of course, castling is a good, I think so. Okay, d4. If we take, he will push e5. If we take here, then bishop is hanging. If he takes, we will take with queen. It looks quite good to me. There's even queen b4. So I think there's no time for this. Castling might be something, actually, because then it's very risky to take here. Rook will go to e file, and then our knight might be in trouble. Okay, I think this is going to lose bishop now. Oh, actually, maybe not, because knight jumps here. If I trade, this happens, but it's very good for black anyway. So let's do it. Oh, okay. Now we can trade pieces. And if knight takes here, queen d3 looks very good choice, because there is no castling. And if knight jumps somewhere, we can trade queens. And now we are going to castle and put rook on e file. Of course, knight can take e5. Okay, so rook will go to h3. That might give some play for white, but we can stop this plan with a useful move. We are up a piece, so we don't have to worry about any kind of position opening ideas. Okay, I did this already, but okay, the idea is to play d5 or d6. Maybe d5 is more active, because now our bishop guards this square. And if pawn takes here, we just castle and then put rook on e-file, and there is no good way to prevent rook e8. Maybe queen check is an option. Okay, let's castle and put rook here. Okay, this doesn't change anything. Now we are ready for double check with checkmate. Okay, to the next game. Let's play Queen's Gambit. Okay, London system. I think in the last stream I played Bishop d6 lines. Let's do it again. And we are not going to take this bishop too early, because if rook is here, then there might be some counterplay if we castle here. So we will wait that white will castle and then we take here. And meanwhile we are doing something like this. If you put your pawns d5, e6 and knight f6 against d4, usually good idea is to put bishop on b7. Even this pawn blocks the diagonal, but we can do knight e4 later, and then pawn will take and the bishop will guard the pawn, and usually it's good enough for equal play, or at least white's advantage is not so big. A6 prevents knight b5, and the knight is here, so white can't play c4. Okay, should we play b5 or b6? b5 looks more active, but then there might be some counterplay with a4. So every time you decide which one play this, if you're not sure that b5 is the best, but I think it's best here. For example, here it would be a mistake to take here, because then rook and bishop are ready for attack, and then knight will join and maybe even pawn g4, g5. So have to be careful. Now knight will go here, I guess. Bishop b7. There's no reason to use time for a5 here. We have to develop quickly. Knight e5 looks very natural. Okay, he plays something like this. Now c5 might be the best move, or knight e4 even. Okay, let's play c5. It looks very natural. And okay, there was already tactical threats. Okay, what is white's plan here? I don't see it, but maybe knight d7 or knight c6 are both good moves. Okay, let's do this. Okay, should we take this with queen? I think so. And as I said, this bishop is already a quite good piece. Now we are ready for d4 maybe. And it hits here. Okay, there is knight b3. We can put here, and if he takes, we will take this one. So let's open the center because white's king is in the center. Okay, this might be actually a slightly dangerous because rook g1, and then there's bishop e5 and here. So I will do this first. Okay, he can take here. I didn't see that. Okay. My plan is to play bishop f3, but actually bishop e5 might be a move here because there's queen g4. This is actually quite dangerous. Okay, let's play this quickly to avoid any kind of action. But now there is bishop e5, for example. We have to play f6. Oh, queen here. Oh. It's checkmate. Okay. So it was very dangerous to take on g2. I didn't see those tactics enough early. If I take that, there will be checkmate in few moves, and otherwise I think I can't prevent those tactics. Okay, but let's play this position. I think now I'm fine because white's king is even worse than my king. I play this one to prevent king f1. Now knight e4 is the idea. But I think he's playing very well if we compare it to his level. I mean rating. Is this an option? I try to get my rook on g6. This pawn is not so important. Okay, but maybe that one is. Rook is dropping now. Okay, let's see what we have in chat. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move on. Okay, maybe we check those tactics. It's something what we can learn from that game. Okay, white is ready for e4, but then b5 is an option. b4, I mean. And now b4, c5, or bishop b7. And now black is already better, but I didn't play the best way. I played d4 too early because I didn't see that this file might be a problem for black. But here everything is fine. Aha, okay. According to the computer, d4 is actually the best move, but might cause some problems. It's very okay, it's very straightforward, but have to play more precisely. Now bishop e7 is better according to the computer. Maybe because it stops that kind of tactics. And now, okay, this pawn is untouchable. If I take it, white is clearly better already. Bishop e5, yes, and then queen will join into action if I move this, and then bishop will drop. So this is very dangerous. And here again, I played knight d5, and then I realized that queen h6 might be the best. According to the computer, it's winning, yes. Because if I take this one, then bishop e5, and there is no protection on G file. And if I do something like this to block queen h7, there is at least bishop e5. And f6, maybe bishop takes g6, yes. And white's position is winning because I took the pawn on g2, so don't take those pawns. Okay, let's play more. Let's play e6 this time. Nimso Indian, a very good opening. Okay, let's take here. There's lots of different kind of setups. d5, c5, castling is the most flexible. Let's do it. Okay, now we know something about white's plan. Let's play d5. If he takes, we will take with pawn. And then we, okay, c5. It takes some space, but we can play b6. And the b6 is a good idea because we have this kind of structure. We don't get bishop out, so the best idea is probably trade it, because this bishop is very powerful, and that's why b6 is a good option. But it's not the only thing, because if he takes here, we can take with c pawn and try to use c file. But also taking with a pawn is an option, because then we can try to make some pressure on a pawn. So which one to choose? I'm not sure, but okay, let's take here, because then we have some extra options to play c5. And if we take with c pawn, maybe white can do c4, and then there is no weakness on c file. So I think this is still the best. And if bishop goes c2, then it's not so easy to castle. Maybe it's still an option, knight e2, but knight e4 actually. Now I would like to take with rook, because if I take with knight, this knight can't go anywhere. So I would like to get my knight on here. Taking with rook is much better, because I can put my rook here or queen here later. Maybe now knight c6 immediately. It stops knight e5, because this pawn structure gets too weak, and then I'm ready for doubling on a file. Okay, there is bishop covering this pawn, but then I can do this later, or prevent, or maybe with this knight. Okay, this might be a plan, but maybe queen here and rook here, or queen here and rook here. Which one to choose? I'm not sure, but maybe queen d7, because it hits the pawn if knight jumps somewhere, and then I can do this immediately. Now the pawn is dropping. Okay, bishop b2, but then it's very passive. I would like to do this, but knight e5, and that's why I will do this with first, I think so. I would like to prevent c4. Now we play very positional chess. Okay, if this is, I think this is clearly a mistake, but if white does something else, I will put my rook knight here, and then this knight might go here, for example. There's no knight e5, and then a pawn will drop. So this is the position we were aiming for when we took on b6 with a pawn. Okay, okay, there was knight e5, yes. Everything is dropping now, sooner or later. Have to prevent white's counter chances. This e4 might give some play, but actually if we take here and try to trade queens, there is no chance to play e4, I think so. Okay. Should we take here? Have to be careful not to give some chance to attack. e4 might be something. Okay. Okay, let's take this one. Because there is two, it's okay, now this is not an option because our queen is hanging. But after knight c4, this bishop is a very bad one. So we put this first and then we take this. Maybe e4 is something, so we can stop it first. We can take this later. And now there is no counterplay, no any kind of chance to activate this bishop. And now this pawn will drop. Rook a2 is already a threat. Okay, we can try to win this as well. Queen here. Okay. Let's take here. There's some discovery tactics. Rook here. We can take this one. Oh, have to be careful not to give some chance to create checkmate or perpetual. So, okay, let's take this one. Then rook here if he goes there, or maybe even king here. Okay. Queen here. King f7. Maybe c4. And finally that... Oh! Is this hanging? Not yet. Can he take? No. If you play Nimso Indian, I think there were many good ideas that you can use in your games. Okay. Okay, we just got 700 rating. Okay, let's play Rui Lopez. If he takes here, we can do d4 immediately. Rook e1 is an option, of course. If he takes, we can do rook e1. Usually it's quite risky idea to take those pawns. If I take here, knight c5. Okay, should I can't remember now what is the main move here, but this looks quite good. There's no b5. Okay. Now I think it's not risky to take this pawn. We can trade, and then f3 in the end of the line, and this pin will cause some problems for black. I think we are going to win a piece. Interesting. Actually, very good choice, because if I move this knight, then he will take here. And if we do this, he will take here. So, what is the best move here? Okay, maybe we take here, and then bishop goes on wrong diagonal. This pawn blocks it, and we can do this and play f3. And then at least we will win one pawn. I think he can't do this. There is no enough tactics. And now f3. We are pawn up. c5 looks very active, but then we can take. Okay, but it opens up this diagonal if d pawn moves later. Okay, but f3. I think this was good in positional wise, but tactical wise it will lose. Oh, can he sacrifice? And queen d6. I have bishop f4, so no worries. I can do this. But okay. Knight went here. Oh, there was a free square. Somehow I didn't see it. Okay. But I think it would be a mistake to take here, because pawn can take, and if we don't have any ideas how to use this weakness, actually h6 can defend this pawn. It's not so weak. I think the best idea is to put bishop on f4, because then we can trade this great bishop, and we will develop with the same move, and I think we are healthy pawn up here. And if this trade happens, then we can put our knight on d3, and later c5 might be a good square. For example, if queen goes here, we can do this, and this knight defends everything. Okay, he tries to open up the position. Might be the best practical chance, but I think 2 pawns are too much. We have knight d3. I will do this immediately. And maybe knight c3, b4. But b4 is not necessary, and it might give some play later. So let's play this way. He tries to do this. Okay, let's play c3. I'm ready for queen trade because we are 2 pawns up. It's enough. Okay, he tries to do this probably, but king f2. Now b4 is very good choice. If this happens, we can go c4 or even take. But if we take, then d file might give some problems. So let's keep this position closed. King f2, rook here, and we can go forward with these pawns, but there is no need to rush. We can just put our pieces in play and use these pawns later. It's very practical. Okay, now rook f7 might be the only move, but we have rook e1. Okay, let's do this. And soon we are ready for this action. And black doesn't have any counterplay. Okay. Now we can put this bishop in trouble. Okay, what is the move here? I think everything wins, almost everything. Almost every move wins now. This is, of course, the main threat. He has to take with the knight. I can take this one as well, but maybe I will bring my knight into play. Okay, let's prevent this action. This bishop is not going anywhere. Okay, that was the story of that game. Okay, e4. This is clearly wrong. If you meet this kind of move, knight takes e5 is the best option, but you can also put knight c4, bishop c4, and you will win. If you are just playing normally with castling, c3, d4, and so on. But okay, let's try to demonstrate this line. g6 doesn't work because then the rook will drop, and if king goes here, we take this with check. King here, bishop c4, king here, h4, or was it queen f5, d4? Maybe it was that kind of checkmate idea. By the way, have you met this F6 move in your games? Is it quite common? At least here, 700 rating player played this one. But it's also positional wise. It's quite bad choice because bishop c4 and this long diagonal can give lots of play. d5 is actually best move here because it covers f5 and we don't have checkmate immediately. King here and then h5 idea, h4, h5 is the best, or was it to take here? King f5. Okay, it's not checkmate yet, so we start with h4. Yeah. This rook can join in the action if g5 happens, which is one option for black. But I think here it was it this move? If bishop takes queen f5 here and d4, g5, we can take with bishop and the queen will drop. So I think this is the best. Bishop d6 and then queen here or here. And then d4 or d3. There's no... Okay, let's play d3. Now we can take the queen and the rest will be easy. Is there checkmate? I don't see it. Maybe this one, king here. But then my bishop is dropping if I take here. Okay, this helps. But okay, it was already winning. Doesn't change anything. Okay. d4. Okay, now we can transpose in French, but let's play c4. Okay, it's very practical idea to just take here if you like to play card structure. Because if queen takes, we can play knight c3. So let's take this one. It's not optimal because there's some extra options for black, but if you like to play exchange queen's gambit, this is one option. e3. Okay, knight c6, very active play, but there's downsides. Bishop can pin the knight and then knight will join into action, and if he doesn't defend the knight, this might give something, but actually I think it's better to try to play knight e5. Okay, we can do this because if b5 happens, then c file might cause some problems for black, and this bishop is in right diagonal anyway. Okay, this might be something because it blocks c file, but okay, we can do this first because there is checkmate threat, and if he takes here, we can take this with queen. This looks quite nice, I think so. Maybe G6 is an option and try to trade these bishops, but there are still lots of weaknesses in Black's camp. C-file is the biggest issue, I think so. Okay. Maybe knight will jump here. We have b3 there, but there's also b4. But I think... Okay, maybe we should go for queen d2 to prevent this. If knight jumps here, we can take this one and that one. Knight here. Okay, it goes... it's a little bit messy line. We can do b4 actually. Or maybe not. In my own game I would do this because it prevents bishop f5. We can take here. But let's do castling. I think it's still good enough. Okay, rook c1 looks quite natural. We don't need that rook here, and a rook is quite useful in some cases if we would like to do a4 or something like that. Anyway, how to use this file? Let's put on our knight somewhere here maybe. And now we will see that there's already some pressure on c-file. If knight jumps here, it tries to blockade, but we have b3, and now we can see that it's much useful to get rook here. Okay, he didn't see that one, but even though in other cases I will win c-pawn at least, or get my knight on e5. I think this is a good example why a6 b5 is not a good option. Or oh, there was, I saw that one, but I forgot. So now things get tricky. Okay, I have two pieces, two knights for rook. There is no good way to attack. I have c-file, so everything is in control, but that was clearly a blunder. I was explaining things and suddenly didn't remember to take that pawn. Okay, c6. Okay, it's not so easy to progress here. Let's see. He might have something like this, but I can trade it. Oh, this is hanging now. I'm missing things. Okay, he will take this one. Okay, let's see a few key moments from this game. Okay, according to the computer, I can take here and play queen here. That's a good idea, but this is also a little bit better for white. There's even better choices, but here I think I said king d1 here, or did I? It's third best line according to the computer. At least here it's the best line. Or anyway, now it's quite clear that okay, there are some challenges, but let's play tomorrow. Tomorrow I will play with viewers, so let's try to find opponents from this level. Okay, here if knight jumps here, this is weakness. We can try to do something like this and try to double up here, knight e5. If c6 happens, white is better, but sometimes it's not so easy to break this position if bishop can defend it, or there's no knight e5. But I think in this position there is good chance that white can do something like that, and then white is pawn up, and this is a weakness, so quite good chances to win the game. Okay, b3, kind of slow opening. It doesn't take any action in the center, so we will take our share and develop the knight here. Bishop b5 is usually the idea here. If it's quite annoying, we can allow it, but we can also stop it like this way. This is quite practical way to play. Okay, white is using two moves to get e4, and usually in e4, e5 openings, this fianchetto idea is not a good one. So this is much more useful than bishop b2. But okay, if f4 happens, then there might be some benefits with this diagonal, but I think I can prevent those ideas with quick d5. Now this similar idea than in e4, e5, f6 game might work. We can take here and put queen here, take here and win the game. But maybe it's more instructive to play positionally here. I think this is winning, but let's do this, because this is also a wrong choice in positional way. Okay, now dark squares are quite weak. We can put our bishop here and try to get queen into action. We don't have to sacrifice anything here. Okay, again, very slow move. Now we are ready for queen h4, because g3 we can take. Oh, actually, is there knight f3? I don't think so. So we can do this. Okay, and now checkmate will follow. Somehow this opponent had a 800 rating, but I think this wasn't 800 level play. But okay, sometimes everybody have bad games, but okay, let's see. Oh yeah, this was winning as well. G3, and then black will win a rook. And if king goes here, we can use similar idea with bishop c5, yes. And white has to do this, and then knight takes. We will keep this bishop, and then there is lethal tactics. If bishop tries to trade it, we can just put our bishop here. In Italian game, for example, this is very useful idea to play a6 and bishop a7, and this diagonal is very important in those positions. Okay, even here it was quite practical to have bishop a7. Let's play e4 this time. Okay, this is kind of topic today against e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6. So let's play this way today, and we can play open lines, open Sicilian later. We can play this similar idea. If a6 happens, then bishop here, or maybe now this is very useful diagonal, but the main idea is to play c3, d4. If bishop goes here, we have h3, and if bishop goes here, then d3, and knight will go here, and then eventually that bishop is not too great piece on g6. Okay, maybe bishop here, b5. Okay, let's play like in Ruy Lopez. This is not anything serious because these pawns can get weak easily. d3, a4, and so on. We can do d3 also, but maybe now h3 is useful because bishop has to decide what to do. Now we have bishop pair, and this activity doesn't cause any problems for white. We are ready for a4, b3, and so on. Maybe even d3. I don't know which one is the best, but let's play d3 because it helps our development. d5 is of course kind of idea in this pawn structure, but usually black needs to have this bishop on b7, otherwise it helps white's position. And now we can see that this standard idea to break this pawn structure is quite good here. And that is also reason that white doesn't have to worry about a6, b5 ideas, even we are losing few tempos. Okay, let's develop now. I went here to defend bishop, and if it goes here, then I can't develop my bishop. This is not so bad place for the knight in this position because it can go here and here if needed. Now I think it's best to take here. Now we can take even here and here, but there is a pin option to pin the knight, and I think it will win even more material. e4 actually takes. Wow, okay, nice tactics. But after e4, I think I have at least queen here. Okay, and then I think in this level, e4 is very hard to find. Okay, e4, maybe even queen f5, because there is no knight e3. Knight e3, the idea is that if I take here, knight can take f5, but I can take this with bishop, and then my other rook defends this rook, and that is the reason why it's very important to develop minor pieces in the opening. You can get chances to defend your rooks in some tactical positions. I could trade here, but it's a better idea to develop queen here, maybe. This bishop guards this knight very well, and also gives some safety to the king. Very good idea in many positions. Okay, now we can do this. A fork, which helps to win. And again, there's typical tactics we can take here, because this pawn is overloaded. Rook defends the rook, so we don't have to take this with queen if this trade happens. Okay, and to the next game. Okay, let's play Caro-Kann defense this time. Bishop f5 and then e6. This is the main move. We don't have to take here immediately. We can do this. If he takes, we will take with c pawn, and we can get knight c6. Okay, now if we do this, then probably c takes d5 might be something, but you can do this first. Put your knights here, and take here later. So this is not probably the most accurate way to play, but it's very practical. You don't have to remember tactics. I mean opening theory. Okay, let's take here. Now we can have great knight on d5. But should we play this first to prevent knight h4 and any kind of g5 action? Now this knight is much better than that knight, because bishop e7 is needed anyway. There is no point to put bishop on b4, because it might give some chance to create play on queen side. Now it's important moment which way to take it. If we take with knight, then the idea is to make some pressure on d4. But if we take with c pawn, then we can use c file and play like in French without bad French bishop. We have very good bishop in that case. So I think taking with c pawn is the best. If we take this with e pawn, then there might be some chance to create a pawn avalanche later on. So, and taking with queen is probably mistake because there is bishop on same diagonal, and black will lose some tempos later. Okay, let's take with c pawn now. We can castle here. We have extra bishop, so we don't have to worry about any kind of kingside attack. And now we are ready for queenside action. Let's play this rook. If we need bishop here, again similar idea to put bishop on f8. It gives extra protection. Now we can trade rooks if we want, but maybe it's better to keep those rooks on the board. We can go here. Now this pawn is hanging. b3, queen here, and c1 might be a problem already. Now if this happens, then we have c4 square. If b3 happens, we have this a3 square. So I think we have good chances to get winning position. This is clearly better for black. Now I'm aiming for knight c4 or knight a4. Bishop d3 is of course a tactical threat, but actually queen d1 might be a move there, because there is no bishop f1. If queen takes, rook can take it, so maybe bishop d3 is not a winning move. If we play bishop d3, queen g4 looks quite good. There is bishop h6. Now we can trade this, and maybe queen trade is the best here. Oh, okay, time trouble again. There was knight c4, knight a4, but I want to prevent king side play, and that's why I'm going to trade, because these pieces, these pawns are so weak that we can win the end game quite okay. Oh, what is this actually? Have to be careful now. But okay, we will win many end games. Rook c6 is needed after, because there's no b3. Okay, I have to speed up a bit because I'm going to lose on time. Now this is a threat. There is no good way to prevent. And then queen, bishop d. Okay, I will put my pawns here. And then if rook trade happens, I think he will do this and bishop d3. I will trade, and I will trade light square bishops. And then this bishop is very bad if we compare it to my knight. And the next step is to put pawns here. Okay, there might be some problems to get enough space for my pieces, but let's see. Okay, now I trade, and then my knight will jump here. Actually, I need to get my knight on f5. Well, is this an option? Not so easy, actually. Okay, I have to do this. But there is no risk that I'm going to lose this one because this bishop is so bad. Okay, I don't know what he's doing now. Okay, he tries to do something. Okay. If king goes here, then there is real threat, but I think it can't go here. Surprisingly. He can do that. Somehow, this is not so easy. Now this will drop and I will take this one as well. But okay, very clever play, because it wasn't so easy. Okay, now we have 754, over 100 points more than when we started. So I think it's enough for today, and we will continue our journey in next Wednesday. Tomorrow I will play with viewers, so if you want to challenge me, go ahead. But